Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
Next topic is Docker volume. Okay, so what is a Docker volume? So guys, containers are ephemeral. Ephemeral means these are the temporary. So data in the container, when I say data, it can be files or database, any kind of data, whatever it is, in the container are also ephemeral. Simple thing. Containers are ephemeral. Data in the containers are also ephemeral. Okay, very simple. So what to do? So first let me show you that exact behavior. This is my, I think timeout has happened. So CentOS sudo -s. Okay, do we have any containers? This is the container which I'm using right now. I'll do one thing, I'll do the proper cleanup. So I will not show you the other containers. I'm stopping it all the containers right now. Okay, and in fact I'm deleting this container. Just one container is sufficient for this demo. So okay, so right now you see here, this is the container. Right now I'm having it. Now this containers any data which I stored, that's a ephemeral. Ephemeral means it's not permanent. So what we do, docker execute, I'll create some file inside this container. Okay, and I'll create some file inside the container. Touch opt raju.txt. Now I want to see this file. Execute ls opt. See, the file is there. Now guys, I'll go to the vi var. Okay, good. Look at my screen. Live docker. Now this location you might have seen in the docker info command. This is the called docker root directory. Now can I find this file raju.txt in this? So here raju.txt, I'm just searching it. See here, the file is there, raju.txt under the opt raju.txt, and here also on, but it's two different location. Now why we have a two location diff and merge? That is a different thing, but the data is there right now in the host machine. Data is there. Why? Because container is also there. Now what I'll do, I'll stop the container. You see here, I'll stop the container and let me check when I stop the container, data is there or not. Is there, but in one place. Still the data is there. There's no problem with that. Data is still there. Okay, so earlier it was two places. Why this is two places, I'll teach you in the docker section. But still the data is there even though if I stop the container. But what happened when I remove the container? Okay, data is gone. So guys, this is the problem which we are solving now. So did you understand the problem now? Containers are inferal, so the data inside the containers are also inferal, but we need data persistency. Did you understand this, guys? Problems and solution. Everyone is there, guys?
Yeah.
Containers life cycle. Okay, so guys, yes, that is the thing. So how do we do that? So now, before showing the demo, I would like to share with you a reference. Again, anything anything you need, you have to start searching here. Docker volume, and here it is. This article, you can read it while doing the lab. Okay, so guys, their volumes type uh, in Docker. Typically, these are the inbuilt volumes. Okay, one of the volume is which we call it volume itself. Yeah, volume itself. Another volume which you call it mount fs. Okay, and third one which you call it temp fs. So volume, mount fs, and temp fs. These are the three volumes we have. So this volume, where is being stored? So this volume will be stored inside location which is called volume. This is the location. This is the location. Okay. Now this is the volume. This volume any place in the host machine. Host machine, I said. Any location in host machine. And here it will be there in the memory. Okay. So now guys, can we go to this place and check that do we have anything what exactly these are? See here, these are the volumes already exist, but for your information, I have not created any volumes. So how these volumes are existing, I'm surprised. Guys, if you remember Docker events command, and specifically for the when you were creating Docker container of Jenkins, then remember that volumes were getting created, mounted. I hope you remember about the Jenkins image. So yes, I think I have these many volumes. That means these many times I run the Jenkins container. Now can we go and check this here? Go inside this, and you see here under the data, and you see here these are the volumes. So here, remember, all the Jenkins container has gone. Remember, all the Jenkins container has gone. See, I have a few exited container. I will do one thing. I will remove it. Docker rm. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and all this Jenkins container. You see here, there is no container right now, but data is still there. Data is still there. You see here, all the data is still there. You can mount this data to some other container and you can get the things working properly. So you must be wondering, okay, how can the volumes got created? How come the volumes got mounted? And how come the volumes is being used? So guys, this coding has been done in the image itself. Yeah, that's true. The one which you saw that with the behavior of volumes with the Jenkins, that is done in the image itself. But can we do it manually? Because I want to learn manually rather than doing the image, because image we will do that later, but I want to learn manually. Can we do that? Yes, we can do that. All these things, for that we have a commands for that, and one command you need to remember, and that is docker volume. That's all. So Docker volumes will give you multiple sub commands. You can create a volume, you can inspect the volumes, you can list the volumes, you can prune unused volumes, and you can remove the volumes if you want it. So these are the commands which will help you to get it up and running. So can I do one thing, because I want to first list out the volume. So let me recall this here. Volume ls. It's the same volumes which you have here, this directory. Volume name matching with the directory name. Sorry. So matching with the directory name. Can I do one thing? Can I prune it? Pruning, because none of the containers you have it. That means that volumes is not been used. Do you want to prune it? Yes. So guys, I got all the volumes pruned. Can I create a volumes? Dev 1 ls. Can I create one more volume? Dev 2 ls. Can I delete the volume? Let's create one more, and this time rm. See here. So here, not only you can create a volume, remove the volume, prune the volume, list the volume, and everything. You can do that. So you can inspect the volumes also. See. So guys, these are the commands which you can use it to work with the volumes. But the question is, the volumes got created. I have two volumes right now, dev1 and dev2. But last time the volumes got created, which was a 40 character hash value. When you create a volumes using the Docker file, Docker images, you will get the hash value. Though, if you see that, you can give it the name also here through the command line. So volumes got created dev1 and dev2, but how can you use it? And let me remind you, I'm talking about these volumes which you can create inside this directory. So how can we use it? Simple guys, I am sure you have run the command which is called docker help run. And I ask you to look at this, spend 5 minutes over there. I assume you have spent it. So guys, docker run -itd ubuntu. Do you know this command? You all are comfortable with this command, right? Everyone?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yes. So guys, what you have to do this time -v. Which volume you want to mount? I want to mount dev1. That's fine, but where you want to mount inside a container? Colon under the tmp and got the container. See, so simple. Can I check this? Look at the screen here. Docker ps docker execute this container df-kh. See this. Where's that? TMP. So here TMP. Could have mounted some other locations also. Raju, TMP Raju, something like that. And Docker PS. Sorry about this. Docker PS. Docker exec. And df-kh. See that? TMP Raju. So that means this volume which you have mounted, same volume I mounted this container also and that container also. Both the containers have the same volume, mind it, dev1. So can I copy something here in the Raju location? So let's go ahead and do that. And touch, I'm creating some fake file using the touch command. Simple way to demo. Touch tmp Raju and kaka.txt. Remember this file which I created under the Raju, which is matched with the volumes dev1, and it's belong to both the containers. So can I look at this here? Docker exec. Both the containers we have the same file. ls. This time it's a tmp, right? See that. Raju. See that kaka and other volumes. tmp. See here. Sorry. See here. Locations both are changed. Same volumes. Can I see physically this file is available in the dev1 or not? See here. Data. Wonderful. Can I create some file here? This is the file I created. Can I see over there? See here. Now the guys, most important thing is, if I delete the container, what will happen? That's important question, right? That's important question. So can I stop this container? Docker stop both the container. And can I delete this container? Do we have a data? Let's check it out. See here. Data is there. Can I mount with other container? Docker run -itd -v dev1 to opt raju1, and you can mount two volumes also, no problem. Opt raju2 inside a container of Ubuntu. Two volumes I'm mounting. One is old one, another one is dev2, which is empty. Now docker execute docker ps docker execute this container and ls. See here. opt. See here, Raju1 and Raju2. Can I see the Raju1? You should have two files. So guys, this is the volumes, and using that you can make the volumes persistent, data persistent beyond our containers life cycle. When I say beyond, that means container is gone, no problem, but the data is still there in the host machine inside the volume location. But the next question is, what is MNTFS? So guys, for this we need to understand that. So guys, I said when you use MNT, you can place the data in anywhere in the host machine. The question is, how can we do that? I don't want to store the data here inside the volumes directory, but I want to store the data inside the OPT in the host machine. I want to store in this directory, mkdir backup. There's a spelling mistake here. mkdir backup. This is, I want to store the data inside this location. This location. Can I do that? Yes, you can do that. Docker run -itd -v this path. Just you have to give, instead of the name of the volumes which is existing in the volumes directory, you have to just mention the full path, and that's all. And inside that, where you want opt ramu or which container, Ubuntu container, and happen doc command is wrong here. Docker ps. See here, docker exec here opt/opt. See here. So anything you store here, you can see inside a Ramu. See here. So guys, did you understand the second type of volumes also? It's just a matter of changing the path. Did you understand this? All of you. Guys, are you there? Yeah. So guys, this is the volume type. Now you can store the volumes in the memories also, but the data will be deleted as long as the system is rebooted. But this data will not be deleted if the system is rebooted. Whereas if the system got crashed, this data will be lost. Whenever you use this type of the data, you should mount at the host machine some external storage, and you can store it over there. So these are the commands I run and showed you the demo.
Please enroll our general membership for $399 plan to get access of all the parts.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.